improvement work that had been completed during the summer break and discuss any other safety issues within the school. The main work completed, a new extractor system for the school kitchen was installed to cope with the increased number of hot meals being prepared due to the free school meals for the KSMA initiative. This has improved the working environment for the kitchen staff and allowed additional hot food prepared to take place. Solar panels have been installed on the school roof. The project was funded by BMAT and will produce revenue in the longer term, long way off. New sheds have been installed in the playground outside of the library to store outdoor play equipment, which will free up some storage space in the hall. There needs to be a plan regarding how the space is used. It's a small alcove. It was never designed for storing such equipment. Academy signs and notice boards have been installed at the front of the school and in the playground. Generally, the school has been cleaned and tidy and looked better than it had during the last health and safety visit in July. The swimming pool maintenance is now done by contract. Action points, staff meeting to discuss storage and general tidiness around the school and to invite suggestions for improvements. First aid boxes were due to go out date October. They'll be replenished and the old everything has been disposed. Health and safety observation visit took place before half term with a catch up to take place before Christmas. Evacuation now for fire drills is being done in the field rather than the playground. The playground is having a new surface fitted to it within the next 6 months. It's going to be marked out as a netball football, so it's going to be laid out in the end. The fire evacuations, they are being done in 3 minutes. I think the recommendations are 4.5 and 5 minutes, so they are actually being done in 3 minutes. There's been no reports of any bullying, no reports of any accidents in a serious manner. There's still a high truancy with the travellers. Okay. Yeah, and that concludes Councillor Safety report.
Thank you for that, Councillor Rainbow. Councillor White.
Can I have a question? Next time you have a meeting, you find out what they're actually receiving for their free meals. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was told the younger ones were getting 1 fish finger, and the older ones were getting 2 fish fingers, and that was considered to be a free school meal. That's not a meal to me. I could be totally wrong. I could be misinformed, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Next time
You may call me up on it, but when school meals are provided and are free, because of snack breaks, there's a lot of wastage, an awful lot of wastage.
but it
Yeah.
fish finger isn't a meal.
Yeah, and
It's not part of your 5 day.
there's variations in because they've all been asked what they would like. They've tried to keep it down, how can I put it, as a standard meal. But there's a lot of variations, there's a lot of food allergies and they're having a lot of problems with it, you know.
It was just a question that came up.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Councillor Rainbow, you got one from Councillor West now.
Yeah. Can you tell me how many governors we actually have on both the school and the nursery?
I'm going to come on to that in a moment, actually.
Apologies.
Yeah,
The school, we've got a full complement.
No,
The nursery, I
council
don't know.
Council governors.
No, it's talking about the council representation at the schools. We'll come on to that shortly, yeah. Is there any more questions for Councillor Rainbow?
No.
No. I'm just going to make a comment that obviously Chris Gravitt took over from Councillor Frost, and he's now resigned. And then I think Darren Hazelwood was at Eatonbury, wasn't he? He's resigned.
No, Duncan was at
Duncan Lang.
Oh, Duncan's a cable from Darren. Right, so obviously there's two schools there that have got no representation from the council. Could we write to them both and ask them what the situation is and whether we can appoint somebody else? Okay, does that cover your point? Right, moving on to finance, which is 11. 11A is the income and expenditure for May 14.
Yes.
Month 2.
Right, next one.
Are we all happy with that?
Well, no, we have this every month. There are a bunch of questions asked that weren't resolved.
Okay. Councillor Holloway, you have to put your questions again now because
They were resolved.
I can't even remember what they were. Every month I say Aubrey answers, no one tells me. That's why they're never accepted.
Really, were invoices signed with the checks,
That was the later one. That was June and July.
and they are all signed.
That was June and July. May was something different. I believe it's one of the councillors that. Well, I'm afraid that doesn't mean that was the question. The councillors aren't here that raised the matters. Again, what do we do now? It's a mess. I think we're getting some.
well,
Yeah, the report.
does anyone know what? Does anyone agree with Councillor Holloway? Because I mean, I wasn't at these meetings at this particular time, so
I thought we saw this more out. Was it last time?
You know we didn't sort them out, David. May was the one that gave you the biggest problem.
You didn't.
so where? You've noted it. Query there. Can you read it out to the councillors?
It's just, there was a query as to, and that's all there was in May, as to whether the checks were signed with the invoices.
Yeah, that was June and July. May, there was other matters in May. I can't remember what they were. Other councillors raised them. This is pointless, isn't it? Not to just accept them. Because not accepting
Well,
them is a
unless you
waste
know
of
what
time.
the points are, Councillor Holloway, I can't really go any further, can I?
Well, I suppose having raised them for 5 months, you've worn me down. I don't know what they are or accept them flaws.
Yeah.
I'm not proud to be part of this council at the moment. Is it showing? It's a mess.
Right, so it says on here, this is the Town Council meeting of the 1st of July. It was resolved not to approve the detailed report of income and expenditure for May. And it was relating to the councillors signing the cheques, should also initial the invoices,
Okay,
which is what the clerk said and it's now been done.
right. And I'll tell you again. That was brought up in the last 2 or 3 meetings, and there were other matters that weren't resolved, and here we are in November and still haven't accepted those minutes. Accept them, Mr. Chairman. There's no point in me
Oh, I
arguing.
can only go on what's down, can't I? I can't.
Again, it's not,
Yeah.
Well,
again,
let's
it's
accept
not
them.
approving, was Councillor Clapham, Councillor Frost, Councillor Howard, Councillor Lincoln,
In May.
Councillor West. And Councillor Baines, Councillor Hazelwood, Holloway, Page, Wayne and Ward didn't approve.
Right, okay, that's the
So
guys
5
that are
councillors didn't approve.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, haven't they been internally audited since then?
Last year.
Go on then. Internally audited by the external auditor.
No, the internal audit.
Haven't been.
Right.
They're not.
No, May was month 2. That's
So when,
we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Not the auditor was the audit was for the previous financial year.
so we're going to leave them as unsigned until they're going to keep coming up every time.
Well, this is the dilemma, isn't it? We can't recall. We haven't recorded the queries, so we're never going to be able to accept them. Which is a bad call to accept.
Queries were recorded, and all it was councillors signing checks.
Listen, I'm going on what the clerk says. I wasn't here. The clerk is the responsible officer for the council, and as far as I'm concerned, there's been no financial irregularities relating to the clerk and what she's minuted.
Judy
I can remember distinctly, David, you were chairing the meeting actually, and I believe at that time it was Councillor Ward that came up with queries on the budgets and the minutes, and apparently it was accumulative because it hadn't been agreed and hadn't been accepted for the previous month and the previous month.
Yeah, May was
And
definitely the
they
start.
wanted to know when they were eventually going to get signed off. Or do you remember?
I do remember we said that we were going to call
Is
him.
that relevant to what we're talking about?
Yes, it
May
is.
was only month 2. because
Month
in
two.
April it signed off.
But we then turned around and said that we were going to get the external auditors to come in and do an audit. We went through council and they voted that, called in the external auditors to come in and do another audit of all the books and
And has
procedures.
that happened?
I didn't phone them up, so sorry, I haven't phoned up anybody. I wasn't asked to phone up anybody.
That was me, I
Go
took
back
action on that.
to Councillor Holloway.
Well, look, there's obviously going to be dissension on this. Can we just have a vote on it, please? Because we're never going to get a resolution, are we? We're never going to get agreement. So, are we going to approve the income and expenditure for May 14? Are we going to disapprove?
I was in favour of approving at the time.
But so was Councillor Fabian Cross, our main contract.
No, I think this is where it gets complicated, where you get